Simeon and I took a no-car trip to Val Di Mello. It took a long ride on a high-speed train, then another train and 2 buses to get there. I had to represent the Denver Nuggets, who would win the NBA championship. It was raining when we arrived at San Martino. It was raining so bad, we decided not to camp that night and go to Gensianella Hotel. San Martino is a small town with necessary amenities, a few bars, small grocery stores, restaurants, and even an outdoor/climbing store. Because of the weather, we decided to go hiking in Val Di Mello and see the beauty of the valley. We would then go to somewhere the weather forecast was better. This boulder is so nice they decided to build a church around it. I don't know if the water always runs like this or if it was because of the rain, but the rivers and waterfalls were beautiful. I love the sound. Clearest water I have ever seen. Val Di Mello has been a nature reserve since 2009. But there is private land and structures in the valley. They even raise cattle there. Some locals told us that the weather was going to be nice the next few days. So we stayed and were able to climb a 5-7 multi-pitch and get a higher perspective. Everywhere else we looked, the weather was bad, so we decided to stay and went to the campground Lo Scoiattolo. The hosts were wonderful. Shelter tables, clean restrooms, and warm showers in a beautiful setting. Right across the road was a very peaceful river. Right up the road from the campground is Caduta Vipere.
All right, there's my boat. Can you see that other boat way up there?
A crag with multi-pitch slabs. We did the first 2 pitches of Attenzione. I am on the second pitch, a 6A with long runouts.
Little mantle right there.
This is Giallo Orca on Separone Mark Wall, a 6A+. Even though it was a single pitch, this was my favorite climb of the trip. It had some slab, some crack, some laybacks, a very cool overhang at the top, and an abundance of protection all the way up. It also had plenty of places to rest after pulling the hard move, so I could recover for the next hard sequence. It is a good route to be using double ropes as it serpentines up the cliff face. Sasso Remano is an area with lots of gigantic boulders to climb. In fact, this is the largest boulder in Europe. It started to rain soon after this climb, so we climbed at a steep section and then back to this side when the rain stopped. With very little vegetation on the boulder, it was able to dry very quickly. After many days of hiking and climbing, we were feeling a bit sluggish and decided to take a rest day. I think we picked a good day to do that as it started to hail with the rain in the afternoon. The next day we climbed Separone Mark Settorore Destero, a 6B. It was still wet below the trees and very slippery, so we had to climb the trees to get past. The traverse on this flake was fun and unique. Slings on the small flake for protection. A little further, a bolt was missing a hanger, so I had to cinch a wired nut on it. A little scary. Pitch 4 was a long slab. As is typical for a slab, the protection was spaced far apart, and not a lot of it. At 5B, the climbing was not too scary, and you could just enjoy the movement, even though handholds were sparse. It was nice to get some altitude on this route. but we were still far below the grand walls of Val Di Mello. After a good climb, we decided to reward ourselves. We ate a late lunch at Gatto Rosso. On our last full day, we rented a crash pad and decided to use up the rest of our strength on some splendid boulders. I tre trappiombi dei Veronesi, a 6A. Even though it rained every afternoon and night, it was a wonderful trip. Keep learning and having fun.